Remakes, huh? Sometimes they're amazing. Sometimes, well, let's just say not so much. And since you love a good suspense film, we're going deep on the 2024 Speak No Evil remake. Does it live up to the hype? We'll find out.
Well, 2022 original was really something. Intense, disturbing, like the kind of film that gets under your skin.
Yeah. So the remake has some big shoes to fill then, huh?
Yeah, it has a lot to live up to for sure.
Well, one thing that's got me intrigued is how this one goes in a totally different direction. It's not just a shot-for-shot remake.
Right.
The Empire Online review even mentioned something about a daughter's toy rabbit. Like, that's the turning point where it veers away from the original.
Oh, yeah, that's where it really starts to do its own thing. Remember how the first one kind of lulled you into this false sense of security? This time, that toy rabbit thing is like, whoa, okay, things are definitely off. Like a crack in the facade, you know?
Totally. And then there's James McAvoy. I mean, he's usually the charming one, right?
Yeah.
Seeing him as the antagonist is already throwing me off.
Right.
But the review says he just transforms into this creepy, unpredictable character. It's like if Mr. Tumnus turned into a scary, I don't know, puppet master or something.
It is really interesting to see him in this kind of role. He's so good at those likable characters, so to see him tap into this darker, more sinister side, it's unsettling for sure.
And that probably plays right into the director's style, right? James Watkins.
Oh, absolutely.
He did Eden Lake and The Woman in Black, so he definitely knows how to build suspense.
Oh, yeah. He's great at that slow burn.
What's he doing in Speak No Evil that stands out?
Speaking of Watkins directing, the review I read had this great analogy. They said it's like a cat playing with its food.
Oh, okay. I see where they're going with that one. Like the slow build, that agonizing tension, waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Exactly. No cheap jump scares with him.
Yeah.
Watkins really takes his time to build that tension, lets it simmer until you're like, okay, enough already. He did that so well in Eden Lake, and it sounds like he's doing the same thing here, but even more so. And it's interesting how this other article from Screen Rant about Ciara plays on that whole power dynamic thing. It's like, she's not just the villain's wife in this one.
Right. They even ask, is she telling the truth? Because now she's claiming to be Patty's first victim, which, like, totally changes things.
It makes you rethink everything, you know? You think it's this normal couple, and then bam, that revelation comes out of nowhere, especially with the age difference between them.
Oh, yeah, that's true. What's the gap there?
Well, let me see. Ailing Franciosi, who plays Ciara, is 31, and James McAvoy is 45.
Okay, so that's a 14-year difference.
Yeah, pretty big.
And when you consider what Ciara's saying,
Yeah.
it makes you wonder, what's really going on in that relationship?
Exactly. Adds a whole other level to it, doesn't it? Those little moments, those seemingly innocent interactions, now they feel kind of suspicious. And it's not even just the age thing. The movie drops all these little hints that Ciara might be abused.
Oh, like what?
Well, there's that scene where, remember, Louise notices that bruise on Ciara's arm?
Yeah.
At first, it's like, whatever. But then when you remember what Ciara said...
Oh, wow. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't just an accident.
Right. And then later, when Patty makes Ciara apologize, even though she was the one who was disrespected.
I know that scene was so awkward, the way he just takes control.
Exactly. It's subtle, but it's like this weird power play. Makes you wonder about Ciara's confession, right? Is she really asking for help, or is it like a survival tactic?
It's crazy how it keeps you guessing. Victim. Manipulator. Both.
I know, right? And here's the kicker. The director actually talked about their relationship.
Really?
Yeah, James Watkins. He said it's this messed up mix of love and abuse.
No way. What did he actually say?
He said, there's clearly a dark, abusive, coercive, problematic thing within their relationship, but there's a love as well. I think the two things can coexist.
Wow. Okay, so it's not as simple as good versus evil then. Which is interesting, because at first glance, that's totally what it seems like.
Yeah, but there's definitely a lot more going on there. And that's what makes it more than just your typical horror flick, you know? It's like a deep dive into the characters. Makes you think about the good and bad in everyone, you know? Can someone be both the abuser and the abused?
It's heavy stuff. So how does it stack up against the original? That ending of the first one still haunts me.
Oh, yeah, me too. It was brutal. But that's what's so interesting about this one. It takes all that creepiness, that suspense, and just twists it in a whole different way. Remember, the first movie was mostly from the family's point of view, the ones being terrorized. Now, with Ciara potentially involved, we're seeing things from the other side, someone who might be both a victim and, well, you know.
That's a great point. It's not just about who's got the best scares. It's about the psychology, the morality, the whole shebang.
Exactly. It makes you really think.
I know, right? It's like, we thought we were just going to be talking about scary movies, and now it's like, whoa, deep thought.
Seriously, but that's what makes it so different, so good. It's not just trying to be scarier than the original. It's like adding this whole psychological, moral layer on top of it. And it all comes down to this question the article leaves you with.
Okay, hit me.
What if Ciara's telling the truth? Like, what if she was a victim too? Does it make anything she did? Okay.
Oh, man. See, that's tough. It's easy to judge, but then you think about everything, the manipulation, the abuse. It's not so simple anymore, is it?
Right. Suddenly, you don't know who to root for. It makes you think about how we decide who's bad, who's good, and what happens when it's both.
This movie is messing with my head, and I haven't even seen it. I am so adding that to my watch list.
I think you like it.
I'm kind of scared, too.
Yeah.
Now, but isn't that the point of a good horror film? Like, if it sticks with you,
Yeah.
makes you question things?
Totally. It's got to get under your skin. And Speak No Evil sounds like it does that and more.
Absolutely. So there you have it. If you're looking for a horror film that's more than just jump scares, this is it. It's got those twists, that psychological depth. This one will keep you guessing, and maybe even spark some interesting conversations afterwards.